Hi, I'm Mike of Near Enough Dice. This is the Kerbal Space Program. The Aluminium Rhinoceros is hopefully going to land after a great long length of time out in space. I thought I was going to land last episode, but I actually managed to skip out of the atmosphere because I was so far out that I've had to go around again, somewhat to my surprise. And I guess we're going to find out how well this works. I don't have any engines; they don't work. They've got fuel in them. They don't have very much oxygen. Well, actually, right. Hang on. I've got two engines that don't work at all anyway. I've got two engines that kind of do. They got thrust limiters. Oh, I've got an amazing maybe 30 meters per second delta V, so I don't think I'm going to bother. Yeah. So I'm going to have to go round again. So I only got to about 45k above the surface last time. Unfortunately, we are going to be doing this in night time still. It's actually going to be even more night time. It's a bit of a shame. So let's put the heat thing up so I can keep an eye on it. And I'm hoping that I'm not going to just go skip off the atmosphere again. Because part of the thing else, I've actually got to go deal with one of my Eve satellites in 5 hours. You know what? I'm just going to thrust limit these down again. Just in case I get stupid and I hit something I shouldn't. I don't think my 30 meters a second is going to do any good anyway. Because last episode, I actually did play with them and ended up spinning around. Which turned out, that could have been really bad, but it turned out to be alright. Nothing bad actually happened. So, see, I'm very close to getting to my periapsis again. And I've still got a really huge apoapsis. So I'm actually not slowing down anything like as much as I would really like to. What are the G-force? G-forces are 0.2 G, so I'm not actually experiencing that much in the way of G-force. So am I going to have to do yet another aero-breaking pass? I mean, I don't really mind. I mean, you know, fundamentally, I'm going through the atmosphere. My periapsis is getting lower and lower each time, so I'm gonna end up in the atmosphere, but I would quite like this to get that little bit lower. Everything is looking okay in terms of heat, so I'm not worried about that. Hotter skin temperature is 700, and it's going up, but it's going approximately 800 out of 3000 Kelvin, so I think we're all right there. How's that coming down? So my apoapsis is coming down. It's now under 400 kilometers. Everything is on fire! Let's see, it's quite a lot, under 400 kilometers now, my apoapsis. Nearly at my periapsis. My horizontal speed, I'm going down, which is good. Which is where I want to go. I want to be going down. So what I'm worried about is theoretically, depending on where this braking pass takes me, I may end up with my periapsis too low if I do another pass and end up having slightly more of a crashing type. So I'm now past my periapsis. I'm now going up again. But the question is whether there's enough atmosphere to slow me down enough so that I do get captured and I don't just skip out again. Okay, so that's coming down. It's getting just about to pass 200 kilometers, and I want that to be less than 70. If it's less than 70, then I'm staying in the atmosphere and I'm landing today. I'd really quite like to land today. I'm sure these guys would like to land today because they've been out for quite some time. He's happy, good. They're all kind of, yeah, everything's fine. Even Jebediah's, maybe he's just bored. I've been seeing fire out the window. I've seen fire out the window before. Seeing fire out the windows, that's not interesting. It's just fire. Okay, 120 kilometers. I think we're going to make it. I think we're in the atmosphere today. There's no possibility of coming around to the day side, I don't think. Which is what I would quite like. I'd quite like to come around to the day side, but that ain't happening. Because I would quite like this to happen in the day, but you know, I didn't have any control over that. The planet was where the planet was, and I was where I was. I didn't really have I did not have enough delta V to go into an orbit and then come. Oh, well, probably I did actually. Now I think about it, but maybe I didn't. But coming up to official, we are landing today. And we are landing today. We are landing today. Everything's gorgeous and wonderful. We are landing today. Heat is still just fine and dandy. We're swimmingly brilliant. Everything's just fantastic. The only downside is it's happening at night. That's the only problem I've got. There's the Mun, which we were playing on not too long ago. Well, no, it was ages ago now, I think about it. Ages and ages and ages ago. The Mun was like the quick bit. That's only like a day or two to get to the Mun. We've been out for like over 100. Oh, my camera just changed. I presume that's because we're no longer going to space. Don't need the alarm clock. Let's get that. They don't really need much of the flight engineer stuff either. We don't need to be. I'll just keep it up. Right, I don't have an impact yet. I don't think. According to, I mean, admittedly, my apoapsis height is now quite low. But my periapsis is now about to dip below the surface, so I'm sure I'll get an impact thing coming off of my display here. A mere Mach 6.43. There we go. Biome water. Impact biome grasslands. Probably not going to be the grasslands. That's just going to be a first approximation. Yeah, so that impact is just going to drag itself gradually, as you not even very gradually. It's going to just bring itself in. And there's some still bits left of the Rhino. That is presumably going to eventually, because that is also on an aero-breaking trajectory. So that's just going to, that will eventually break up into the atmosphere. So that's fine. There we go. Still on fire. G-force is actually going. No, they're pretty steady actually. I don't have any monoprop left. Okay, fine. So I might as well turn off RCF. I was wondering if Jeb was actually making gestures based off, if I turn the RCF on and off, does he move to move the switch? But I think he was just waving his arms around randomly. So that'd be kind of cool. Like if you click the RCS thing and you're looking down there, one of the crew will go, turning the RCS off. I think that'll be rather sweet. But it's not happening, so that's fine. Apparently my impact program is the Highlands at the minute. But I'm still going max 6.3, so... Still quite high up in the atmosphere at the minute. Yeah, so now we're definitely not going to the day side. Do I feel brave? Do I feel brave enough to fast forward a bit? Temperature's not doing anything terribly terrifying. Speed isn't coming down as quickly as I'd like. I'd really like the speed to come down much faster. I don't know whether that's I would like it to come down faster because I'm worried about what's going to happen, or am I just, you know, I don't want to sit here waiting for it to take ages. Maybe this is too aerodynamic. Shouldn't be. We've got whacking great big rocket engines pointing the wrong way. But I do seem to be casually strolling along at like Mach 6.18. Not slowing down that much. Having said that, I'm also not really hitting the very dense parts of the atmosphere. I'll tell you what, I'm actually a bit nervous. I'm going to hit a quick save. On the grounds that if I blow up because I'm fast forwarding, then that's the game and I get to go back to the quick save. Well, I mean, I do that anyway because I'm not playing hardcore, so I do tend to go back whenever I feel the need, or even the entire. Wow, Jeb and Valentina are just grinning their little green faces off. Isn't that lovely? Oh, we're under Mach 6 now. 40. I'm trying to work out when the slightly denser parts of the atmosphere start hitting. I think it's probably around about now. G-forces, where are my G-forces? G-forces are going up a bit. They're going up quite a bit, actually. I'm going to back down off this time warp just for paranoia's sake. 2 minutes to impact, allegedly. Probably less than that. G-forces are increasing. They're now 0.3. So for folks who have just been essentially in microgravity for well over 100 days, this is going to be a bit of an interesting sensation. Approaching 0.4 G. Thus far they've had a maximum of 0.6, well nearly 0.7. Let's see how that goes now. Temperatures, it's all still fine. It's all good. Everything's fine. Still very high Mach. I'm really not. I'd like to be slower, please. Or the G-forces are rising. So they are now decelerating fairly noticeably. We're going very fast down. We're going faster down, well, about 500 miles an hour. Fortunately, we're going across at about 3,000 miles an hour. So that's not necessarily that. Whoa, 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 whoa! Not liking this. Getting a bit wobbly, and I wonder if it's that engine that's causing it. Yeah, it's bending back towards that engine. Or more actually, where that engine isn't. Because that was the engine that I lost right at the beginning. Okay, we're under max, well, getting on, just about to break max 3. G-forces are still increasing. 3G! But we are passing out of the danger zone. Hoorah! So we're no longer on fire. I think we're going to live. I also think we're going to splash down in the water from the looks of things. Not that I can tell, because now, this is a real problem. This is slightly annoying. Now that I'm not on fire, there we go. We'll have to do that. It's very dark, and there's not a lot I can do about that. There are mods. I did install a mod to increase the ambient, but it actually relies on a different toolbar than the one the one I've actually got. So I've just got the normal default one. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab not the crash. I don't want the crash. What do I want? I want that parachute up the top. Ooh, is it safe to deploy? We'll wait a little bit longer. But no, I'm well under 200 meters a second now, so it should be safe to deploy. We're coming over water, so this altitude is the exact same as this altitude. So that's all fine. Let's go. Okay, we have parachutes. I think we're fine. We're going to live. No one died. It just took forever, and we had to do more aero-breaking passes than I had originally planned. But this is going to be a successful landing. I could really do with that number being a lot smaller than it is. Oh no. Oh wait. Are these old parachutes? Hell, these are old parachutes. I don't think there we go. Ah, right. Okay. That could have been bad. Those were old parachutes that didn't deploy until 500 meters. And normally, that's fatal. You just die. Because the way the aero model changed. So that first parachute, which was, I added that new, and so that had the new settings on it. That slowed everything down. So the old parachutes with their, I've done so much wrong on this mission and survived. It's ridiculous. Yeah, that could have been bad. That could have been very, very bad. Because that second lot of parachutes, I should have gone through and made sure they were all set to deploy at 1,000 meters. But they're on 500 meters. And if, yeah. Had that big parachute not worked and got it down to 16 meters a second, I mean 16, well, whatever it was, 16 meters a second, was actually not a good landing thing, but that did slow enough so that the parachutes with the old settings still worked. We're about to splash down. We are mere tens of meters away. And yes! Okay, I don't have any scientific instruments on this thing. We are just going to go straight to recovery, and I should have done a save just in case. It's been ages since I've done a recovery with a crude vessel, with actual Kerbals on board. I used to have tons of trouble back before I upgraded to 64-bit with the game crashing at this point. I got a science. I got a science. Wow, 21,000 funds back. Okay, it's not bad. Yes! There we go, look at that. Lemsel Kerban, 15 XP gained, level 3. Jebediah, 17 gained, level 3. Valentina, 17, level 3. 15, level 3. 15, level 3. 14, level 3. And Kenmi, 13 experience gained, level 3. Oh. So if we go to the astronaut complex, like this, look at all these level 3 pilots, look at them, look at them. Arnica's only level 2, because Arnica, I didn't have room for Arnica. But look at all these level 3. Oh, I like it. So level 3 pilots can do things like they can follow maneuver nodes, and they can follow target and do target programming retrograde. Level 3 scientists can, if you put them into a research lab, they just do science quicker, and they can also turn data into, if you're in a research lab, you can turn data into science. They get much more science out of that. And level 3 engineers can fix everything. They can fix parachutes, they can fix landing struts, and they can fix rover wheels. So I now have a bunch of level 3 Kerbals. Victory. So on that glorious note of victory, I'm going to say thanks very much for watching. Do please hit like and subscribe and all that kind of stuff. Visit us nearenoughndice.com, and we're also available on Facebook and upon the Twitters. So find us there. And until next time, reach for the stars and get safely home.